Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Arnold Barboza Jr. He kind of had a question mark over his head, didn't he? Because of his last performance against Sean McComb. That was back in April on the undercard of Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. And most people, myself included, thought that he did not deserve that split decision win. I had McComb winning that fight comfortably. And I don't like the word robbery. It's misused and abused and overused. But let's call it incompetence from the judges, because I thought Sean McComb definitely won that fight, definitely. But Barboza Jr., with a little bit of a question mark over him, took on Jose Ramirez, former WBC and WBO 140-pound champ. That he lost to Josh Taylor in an undisputed fight, but that's his only defeat in 30 fights. He's been 140 all his career. And maybe the super lightweight division, he's outgrown it because, he came in, the commentators were saying he was sort of bone dry, and he looked a little bit thin at the weigh-in. And, sometimes it's kind of like Josh Taylor. Sometimes you think, shouldn't this guy move up a division, especially as he's 32 now? But then so is Arnold Barboza Jr., he's 32. But Ramirez, for the first few rounds of this fight, looked very dry, he looked lethargic. He wasn't doing any real work. Barboza Jr. was the one who was landing the better punches, the cleaner punches. He seemed to control the range better. Ramirez was, I don't know what he seemed to be doing, maybe looking for opportunities, trying to find his rhythm, trying to find a bit of energy, to be honest with you, because he was beaten to the punch. And then he kind of woke up. This was a 10-rounder, by the way. Ramirez kind of woke up halfway through the fight and started to go forward more, be more proactive. He was firing some good combinations, not enough of them really. I felt Barboza Jr. was able to pretty much contain him, but nevertheless, at least Ramirez was going forward. At least he was putting some heat on him. And by the 7th round, the orthodox Ramirez. He was landing some decent punches. Actually, I should point out they're both orthodox fighters, but Ramirez was able to finally get his engine running and was going forward. And in the 7th round, I thought he really had woken up. So I don't know. Maybe it's the weight. Maybe it's I don't know what it is, to be honest. Ramirez, Barboza Jr. just seemed to want this more. That's what you got from everything from the body language to the effort. Ramirez was, if this had been a 12-rounder, you'd think, okay, he's paced himself. But it's a 10-rounder, which is still quite a long fight. It's 30 minutes of fighting. But I got the feeling that Barboza Jr., from the word go, was going to say, okay, this is my fight. I'm having this. Whereas Ramirez, it took him 4 or 5 rounds to even get going, and by then it was too late. So it was a unanimous decision for Barboza Jr. I think there were like 2 96-94s and a 97-93. That sounds about right to me. 96-94, what's that, 6-4 in rounds. So, the second half of the fight, Ramirez made it tough. And when it was announced that Barboza Jr. was the winner, a deserved winner, I'd say, he was very, very emotional, very emotional. I think there'd been a rivalry with Ramirez going back to when Ramirez held both the belts. Barboza Jr., he is, I believe he's number 1 ranked now in the 140 pounders, but still yet to get a title shot. He deserves a title shot, definitely. The Sean McComb fight, he definitely lost that, but this was a good win, coming back and taking on Ramirez. And Ramirez was looking a bit long in the tooth, a bit, not forlorn, but like he was kind of, it's almost, you get a vibe from someone sometimes where you think, boxing don't mean what it used to mean to them. They're doing everything right, but they're not doing it with enough verve or enough apparent passion. They're not really on point. Barboza looked like a man who had something to prove. Ramirez looked like a guy who, had proved it in the past and was now sort of maybe boxing because he's good at it, because he can make a bit of money at it. This was a Riyadh card. He's on the undercard of Billum Smith and Zurdo Ramirez. But I'd have to say that, yeah, if Jose Ramirez now wants to get back, into that top echelon of the 140 pounders, he's got to show more. Got to show more stamina. He's got to start quicker. He's got to show more, not determination, but a bit more desire. Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Anyway, the point is now that Arnold Barboza Jr., even though he's a light puncher, he's only got 11 inside the distance wins against 31 in 31 wins, no draws, no defeats. He does deserve a title shot. There's no doubt about it. The McComb fight was probably an aberration because, like I said, that was on the undercard of Haney versus Garcia, and there was a lot of talk about Garcia pulling out of the fight, and Barboza seemed to think, I'm going to jump in and fight Haney. And when Garcia did turn up and fought him, he had to take on McComb, who was this unheralded light punching Irish guy. No one really knew who he was. But McComb went in and fought absolutely brilliantly. So it was a bad day at the office. This was against Ramirez. I think we saw a lot more of the real Arnold Barboza Jr. Good work rate, good skills, nice variety of punch. Boxer fighter, proactive guy, but not someone who fights with his face. Uses the jab well. There's some decent bodywork going in there. But it would have been a much more interesting fight if Ramirez had the same, bluster and the same energy as Barboza Jr. from the word go. I think he lost this fight in the first 5 rounds. But that's the way it goes sometimes. That's the way it goes. It's how you perform on the night, isn't it? So what do you think of this fight? Arnold Barboza Jr., do you feel he deserves a title shot? I do. What about Ramirez? Should he move up? Try his luck at 147? I would, because those belts have gone up in the air now that Bud's moved up to 154. If I was Ramirez, I'd maybe that extra £7 will give him a bit more energy, maybe revitalise him a bit. I mean, Tevin Farmer fought William Zepeda earlier on the same card and looked absolutely rejuvenated. And don't forget, he was an IBF super featherweight champ, and now he's at lightweight. Sometimes that move up in weight can give you the energy. You're not constantly having a diet. You're not, as bad as you were. You're not constantly draining yourself. You can get into that rhythm where you're sort of stuck in a division because you've always been there. And jumping up, you think, well, I can make 140 one more time. Josh Taylor, I get the same vibe off him as well. He should have gone up to 147 a couple of years ago, but didn't. But anyway, let me know what you think. The comments below. And if you like the video, please like it. And also, if you're new to the channel and you could subscribe, that would be fantastic. I'm going to review the Chris Billum Smith Zurdo fight. So look for the video on that. And until then, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and bye for now.